In this biodemographic short, I present direct evidence of demographic selection. One of the few papers in the literature that provides strong evidence of demographic selection in human populations is a study by Ho and her colleagues in 2017. This study examined mortality in a population representative sample of residents of Aceh, Indonesia for 5 years after the Indian Ocean earthquake and tsunami in 2004. The concept and one of the key figures are shown in this following figure. We have age on the x-axis of this hypothetical graph and mortality rate on the y-axis. The baseline pre-disaster mortality is shown here with the solid black line. In the hypothetical graphic, debilitation affects post-disaster frailty by causing mortality to be higher, since it rendered individuals in the population more frail. This is versus the selection effect, which removes more of the frail and therefore reduces subsequent mortality, since the more robust become more predominant in the population. Here are the results of Ho and her colleagues' study. On the x-axis, we have age of men at the time of the tsunami, and on the y-axis, the percentage who died. Among males, mortality at all ages is higher for those who, at the time of the tsunami, were living in communities that were unaffected by the disaster. The gap between communities increases steadily with age, just before age 50, and reaches nearly 10 percentage points by age 75. The authors of this study, that is Jessica Ho and her colleagues, suggest that this is evidence that males who were living in tsunami-affected areas and survived the disaster were positively selected, and that the heterogeneity of the population changed. As a result, males who were living in tsunami-affected areas had lower subsequent mortality rates. This schematic shows the concept of the hard selection, which appears to have occurred in the 2004 tsunami. Pre-tsunami, the robust and the frail occur in one relative distribution. But post-tsunami, the relative proportions change, where the frail are less abundant. Therefore, lower mortality is observed because the more robust occur in greater relative abundance.